Uh-oh. Gotta turn that off. Hey, good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Mike. I was so intent on getting everybody welcomed in this morning that we got some more opening screens. So, hey, good morning and welcome. I hope your day has started off great. And good morning, Rachology. Nice to see you from Maryland here. So if you are new, welcome. If you're watching live, I do this each Monday morning at 7:10 a.m. Mountain Time. So that's going to be 6 on the West Coast, 9 on the East Coast. I'd really like for you to join me. Bring a friend, share with a friend. And if you're watching the replay, hit me with a hashtag replay in the comments, and I would love to connect with you as well. So I generally share from right here, my New Living Translation version. It's titled Every Man's Bible. And the last week or two, I've really been involved also in reading this Leadership Promises for Everyday book. It's by John Maxwell. Good morning, Leadership with Mike. Nice to see you. And so I wanted to get in and have a discussion on this morning. I try and keep these streams to about 10 to 15 minutes so that we can get injected with some faith from above and just set a good foundation for the week and get moving. So one thing that I need to remind everybody of, I don't have my banner ready, so I'll just roll with it. If you are interested in streaming, if you have a message inside you to share, this stream, as many that I do, is sponsored by StreamYard. You can go to join-streamyard.com and check out what they have to offer. So getting into this morning's message, it's a Psalm of David. I'm reading from Psalm 15, and I'm going to read fully verses 1 through 5, and this is from the New Living Translation version. It says, "Who may worship in your sanctuary, Lord? Who may enter your presence on your holy hill? Those who lead blameless lives and do what is right, speaking the truth from sincere hearts. Those who refuse to gossip or harm their neighbors or speak evil from their friends. Those who despise flagrant sinners and honor faithful followers of the Lord and keep their promises even when it hurts. Those who lend money without charging interest and who cannot be bribed to lie about the innocent. Such people will stand firm forever." And so as I'm reading this message, and like I said, John Maxwell expands on this. He gets in and he says, okay, so what qualities should every leader possess? And Psalm 15, the reason I jumped in on this morning is because this is a good foundation for people. And I think oftentimes we think leadership is beyond us or above us. And the reality is often leadership is within us, and we just have to have a good framework to be able to let that out and communicate with others. And so each of us is a leader in our own right. Each of us has an opportunity when it comes to sharing our faith, when it comes to sharing the truth, when it comes to growing other people around us in so many different capacities. Last week, like I said, I'm reading from this book, and we were talking about what happens when someone is put into a leadership role, right? And so if you haven't seen that one, I would encourage you to go back and watch last week's. I was in the book of Joshua. And so today I'm kind of moving on because there are, and I have worked out here 8 specific kind of leadership qualities or principles that can help guide each of us. And so often we get put into a position to lead, and we may only have one example, or we have a recent example of someone that came before us. And they're not always a good leader, right? We're in this position, we go, man, if I ever got my shot, if I got the opportunity to go there, I would do this, or I would handle this differently, right? Haven't you felt that way? I know that I have. And then suddenly we're thrust into and put into that spot. We're put into that spot like God says, hey, it's your time, step up. And we're left wondering, okay, well, now it's real. Now what do I do? Right now, do I emulate the person that came before me? Do I emulate that person that I had so long as an example? But then we're left wondering, well, I mean, there's probably a reason that they've moved on and are not there anymore. So what qualities is it that makes somebody a really good leader? And again, I think Psalm 15 here frames that really well. So most of all, just don't get hung up on this. And I'm going to go into these 8 qualities right now. So I'll go through them real quickly, and then we'll have some discussion on it because I'm already 5 minutes in, and I try and keep it quick. So they possess integrity. They don't participate in gossip. They don't wish to harm others. They speak out against what is morally wrong. They honor others who walk in truth. They keep their word even at personal cost. They're not greedy to gain at the expense of others, and they're strong and stable. Now, I'll walk through those a little bit more slowly. So as we're headed in here, this is why I'm saying I think each of us has a leader within us. First and foremost, we have to lead ourselves. We have to lead through our faith. And then also, God speaks to us often. There are certain people that it's a requirement to then impact and lead others as well. And I think those qualities are the same, whether we're looking inwardly to lead ourselves, or certainly whether we are looking outwardly to lead others. So first, where it says possesses integrity, it's just having that moral uprightness, right? Hey, good morning, Dave. Nice to see you. Doesn't participate in gossip. I think that's really, really important. First you have to weigh what is gossip, right? Somebody that is in a leadership role. Matt and I on our other show on Friday Night Fire have talked about this a lot lately, about if you have a problem, and the way it's stated in the Bible, if you have a problem with your brother, you go to him and speak to him, you flesh it out, right? Brother, sister, if you have a problem with another person, it's important that you have that direct conversation. And so I think one of the things to realize, we all fall into that trap and engage in gossip. And if, you catch yourself sharing something that you're not willing to confront that other person or say directly to them, that in itself is gossip. So Dave says, love this. Thanks, Dave. Good to see you this morning. Leadership with Mike. The other leadership with I do a leadership channel. Certainly some of you may be watching on my leadership channel. I also do this faith-based channel here as well. It says your word as a person you have to protect, and only you can protect it. I believe that firmly. Absolutely. You have to stay true to what it is that you are saying. A leader, a godly leader, does not harm other people. And I think oftentimes we have to stay that path. Sometimes other people, their feelings may be hurt, but to actually dive in to be hurtful or harmful or malicious of other people, there is a difference. There's lots of times somebody has told me something I needed to know because I needed to grow, and it's hurt my feelings, but ultimately they're coming from a place of love, not because they're just wanting to do it to be hurtful. I think we all understand the difference between that. A godly leader speaks out against what's wrong. That's hard, especially right now. There's a lot of turmoil with social media and here in America, all over the world, right? And so there is a difference between moral right and wrong, and people know what it is, and it's not necessarily because we have a skew or a slight difference in beliefs, but it is important that a good godly leader is one that is willing to speak up for what is right. They're willing to condemn the things that are morally wrong, and that can be really difficult. Fifth one says, honors others who walk in truth. I think it's important to honor others in general. I think it's very, very important that, we honor our followers, we honor our circle, we honor the goodness in people. People that are good leaders, people that are raising others up, are those that know the goodness in others and can help to bring them along to another place. They keep their word, even at personal cost. That was back to Mike, leadership with Mike Ashey's post here. He says, your word as a person you have to protect. Only you can protect it. I believe it firmly. It's very simple. If you give your word to somebody, if you say you're going to do something, if you're going to follow in faith and you're going to follow through and you have a message to share, it's so important that you then follow through with that. When it says even at personal cost, that means even if it's uncomfortable, even if you find out that it may cost you monetarily. It may cost you time. It may cost you energy. It's something that is so important that you follow through with what it is that you've stated and that you've agreed to. Isn't greedy. I feel like I've said a lot of ums this morning because I keep searching in the book. Oftentimes I'm just connected here with you in the camera. Today I got to find my spot so that I don't lose it. Otherwise, we end up in a conversation like this and it's like all over the place. Isn't greedy or gain at the expense of others. That doesn't mean that making money is wrong. That doesn't mean that a fair profit is wrong. But when you are doing it in a way that is, and when it's talking about not being greedy, we're talking a leadership capacity. I fall into my sales capacity often. When you're doing, when you are costing somebody else their personal time, their personal energy, and you're doing it solely for your gain, to be able to move up the ladder as a leader, to be able to move into a stronger position, or certainly to gain monetarily, that's wrong. Simple. We talked about morally wrong and right earlier, and that falls in the wrong category. And then lastly is strong and stable. I think a lot of times, especially right now, the comment that somebody being strong and stable, hopefully they go hand in hand, but oftentimes we have to be aware of who and where we're looking to for leadership and that moral rightness that I talked about. So I think this is just a really good foundation. This, leadership promises for every day. I would highly encourage, if you guys are a fan of John Maxwell, pick this up. It's a good daily devotional, and it gives a good foundation of qualities. Again, I'm going to read through the Psalm of David. I thought I had myself a banner made up, but I don't. So I'll just tell you and share with you guys. It's the Psalm of David. It's Psalm 15, verses 1 through 5. It says, "Who may worship in your sanctuary, Lord? Who may enter your presence on your holy hill? Those who lead blameless lives and do what's right, speaking the truth from sincere hearts. Those who refuse to gossip or harm their neighbors or speak evil of their friends. Those who despise flagrant sinners and honor faithful followers of the Lord and keep their promises even when it hurts. Those who lend money without charging interest and who cannot be bribed to lie about the innocent. Such people will stand firm forever." And I think that, like I said, that sums it up with those 8 qualities we shared this morning. Keeping in mind, it's not just because somebody has a title. It's not just because it's not because they're in a quote unquote leadership role. I think each of these 8 qualities applies to us in leading ourselves, and it certainly applies to us in leading others. Leadership with Mike says, "I'll grab the book for sure." Tracy, nice to see you this morning, says, "Haven't seen that one. Thanks for recommending it as a positive reading." Absolutely. It is it's a summation of a lot of books John Maxwell's written, and he's got these good points, and it's biblically based. So for me, on something like this on my channel, which you can go to if you're not watching there, I share faith-based messages on this channel here, which is, whoops, that's Matt's. The youtube.com/with Mike. That is my faith-based channel. I share a lot of faith-based, primarily in the NLT version of the Bible, and leadership messages. And then secondly here, if you're not subscribed or following on my primary channel, talking about leadership, sales, and growth, youtube.com/Mike Phillips. That brings us over my time, what I normally do. We're about 15 minutes this morning. Thank you so much for everybody that took the time to join me, that took the time to share a comment. Again, if you are watching this episode, I share these each Monday morning, and you know someone that says, you go, man, they could stand to hear this message, I'd love to share it with them, please do. Just click that share button right now. If you're watching on the replay, make sure you shoot me a message, hit it with a hashtag replay. I'd love to connect with you. And I thank you all so much. I hope you have an absolutely great week. We want to have a good, solid foundation and move on forward. So God bless you all. I appreciate you all, and I look forward to seeing you back here really soon.